This is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today I'm fired up and excited about sharing with you guys the topic of problems. Why do we have so much problem? I'm going to help you understand this concept, and I'm going to do it in relation to the genders, masculinity and femininity. I've said before and I'll say it again, understand the woman and you will understand the world. Which in other words is understand the differences between the genders and you will understand the world. Do you think it's easier to live in this day and age than it was compared to 100 years ago? When basically they just managed to figure out how to put light inside the house, with electricity, and or maybe it was easier 300 years ago. Today is the best time in history to be alive. I made a video called Is Society Declining? Trust me, it is not declining, even though at times it does look like it is. Understand that life right now is bloody fantastic. However, as a woman, this is not clear cut. You can't be fired up about the past because right now your now sucks. And because your now sucks, and because you are an emotional creature, way more than men ever were, you are only in the now. And because your emotions exaggerate the now, what's happening? Well, it basically means that what's happening right now, if exaggerated by emotion, will actually continue forever into the future. This is an irrational thought, yet it is what your brain is telling you currently in the moment that you're having the problem you're having. Life is horrible. And because life is horrible in the exaggerated now, you're including the future in the now by saying it's going to be horrible forever. And you're also including the past in the now, regretting and having shame and guilt and all those horrible feelings about the past. Women are now creatures. Understand this. Men were designed to separate these things logically and rationally in their brain. This is why they're not as emotional as women. Because if they were just as emotional as women, then they would also exaggerate massively the now, and the problems would never be surmounted and overcome. Life is a process where there's always going to be more and more problems. The key is to find out an automatic problem-solving process that makes it so that everything's fantastic forever, and our kids have a fantastic time, and our grandkids have a fantastic time, and our great-grandkids have a fantastic time, and it continues becoming even better and better and better and better. You being in the now is the key to all of this. The reason why you being in the now is fantastic is because once you do manage to get to the other side of the problems, and you look upon the past with massive gratitude because your now is absolutely fantastic, it makes it so that when you're in that now, it will be exaggerated beyond belief. Meaning the pleasure that you have in the now, you're going to think that this pleasure is going to be there constantly and continuously forever into the future. This is a fantastic thing if it's actually going to be there in the future forever. You're going to believe that the joy and happiness you're feeling in this moment is so amazing. And it's exaggerated beyond belief because there's no past, there's no future, because it's all in the now. It's the exaggerated now that makes the future something that you anticipate with great excitement, because it's going to be even better than what you have right now. And you're like, how is it possible that it can get any better than this? And you're going to look at your past and you're going to say, I had so many problems. And then now they're solved. And I'm so grateful because without the misery, I couldn't have known the joy. This is why you can safe-heartedly appreciate you being an emotional creature, being emotionally unstable, because that emotional instability gives immediate feedback to the man that what he's doing is right. If you're excited, joyful, bubbly, all over the place with pleasure and fun, he's doing something right, which means he needs to keep doing what he's doing and also continuously improve what he's doing, and he's motivated to do so because of your bubbliness. And then when you're upset, depressed, everything's horrible, it's immediate feedback to the man that what he's doing is wrong and it's bad and it needs to change. Because if he doesn't change, nothing is going to change. Because obviously you can't make yourself change. You can't choose to be happy. Because if you could choose to be happy, you would be happy. So if we divide it up into the genders, women were designed to enjoy the now, while men were designed to enjoy the now, but make the now better. What do I mean by that? Women automatically make things better. Men have to make an active choice of discipline to make the now better. In fact, from my research, what I've noticed is that as long as we're progressing, as long as we're moving in the right direction, as long as I improve continuously all of the time, and our income improves all of the time, and our lifestyle improves all of the time, no matter how small those incremental changes are, as long as I don't go backwards, my wife is fired up outside of her brain because it's progression. We're moving in the right direction. It's exponential. If I were to be lazy and sit on my ass all day and not improve and not change things and basically blame her for the problems that we're having, oh my gosh, she would be freaking out. And this is why women get a divorce. It's because they believe that this now, what's happening right now, because he's blaming me, it's going to last forever and I need to get the hell out of here. And she feels that way for good reason. So it's all about progress. It's all about evolution. We were designed to evolve. We were designed for our species to become continuously better and stronger and faster and taller and continuously more beautiful over time, until we eventually reach the destination where our human species are perfected and we can help our children to become perfected and get more joy than we've had. And then their kids can have greater joy than we've had. This is the circle of life and the purpose of life. So, is society declining like I've said in the video in the past? Not at all. Society continuously always improves because we're always coming nearer and nearer to the truth. One day, at one point in time, everyone will understand the truth. Everyone will go, oh yeah, of course. Life is basically a bunch of epiphanies to get us to that point of understanding life, understanding our purpose, understanding why we are here, and understanding how we function, how we work, how our brains work, and how we can make and create happiness. We were designed to have joy and happiness, guys, and it's possible to achieve it, but we cannot do it on our own. This is a collective thing where we need to cooperate together as genders to make it happen. And then we go a little bit deeper when it comes to masculinity and femininity in women, just to clarify it a little bit more. And that is, masculinity in women is being burdened, having lots of problems, where the woman has to take upon herself the responsibility, she has to independently figure it out, and it's burdensome. Femininity in women is when women basically have their problem solved for them. She's unburdened, and she doesn't have to worry or fret too much about things that she's not supposed to be fretting about and worrying and being anxious about. Life just kind of goes on its own, and she's happy and fired up and bubbly all of the time. This distinction between femininity and masculinity in women is crucial. Go back to your childhood years and your early teenage years when you didn't involve men into your life, and you will notice that during this time frame you were quite feminine. Now, obviously, there was some masculinity in there. There was a lot of problems, and you were involved in a lot of those problems that would cause masculinity. However, most of the time, you were feminine because you were provided for and you were protected by someone who loved you. The more you had someone who loved you and protected you throughout your childhood and teenage years, the more feminine you would be. The less you have someone who protects you and provides for you, the more masculine you're going to be. Let's talk about the evolution of things, because you are a product of your environment, whether you like it or not. And most of this environment comes from your mother. Most of the time, it's been your mother that has raised you, most probably. And your mother was either feminine or masculine. And if your mother is continuously burdened, she's made masculine, no matter how feminine and perfect you are in the beginning, emotionally unstable, being able to laugh and play and being protected and provided for and everything's just wonderful, eventually you will be burdened by her crying, by her screaming, by all the crap that women have to go through. If your mother was massively burdened, guess what you're going to be leaning more towards? Your body is going to create the hormones that are necessary for your survival. Meaning you're going to become more masculine because you've got to go into the role of protection and provision, making you more masculine. Girls and boys between the age of 0 to 9 have the exact same amount of testosterone levels. If the boys are massively burdened during this time frame, they're going to be feminine during that time frame, but they're not going to want to become masculine at a later point in life. They're going to remain in their femininity. Girls, on the other hand, will be feminine during this time frame, but because women inherently care about others and about the world and about the collective, women are going to want to progress. And what they've learned from their mother, they've got to do this independently. And they've got to fight and struggle for it and be disciplined about it all on their own. And this causes the women, these girls, to become more and more masculine as they grow up. Boys and girls both start out as feminine creatures. But at 9 years old, when puberty begins to slowly kick in, the only reason boys remain in their femininity and do not grow up to become masculine is because of their childhood problems. They were raised, most probably, by burdened mothers. And if the mother is burdened, guess what? It's proof that she does not have a masculine man to provide and to protect for her. Which makes it so that the boy most probably will not have a dad around that he can turn to for rational logic and understanding of the situation. This child is going to be conditioned to use his emotions and to use force in order to get what he wants. Because that's how his mother, his burdened mother, raised him. When it comes to girls, they were feminine in their childhood, in their early teenage years, hopefully. The only reason why these feminine girls become masculine is because of problems. Having to grow up too fast. Because the mother was masculine. The mother had problems. And since she had problems, the daughter is also trying to figure out these problems, but she also gets an exponential increase in problems because of her masculinity. I'm gonna go into that as well. Make sure you watch part 2 of this video because there is much more information to come. I'm gonna try and keep it simple. Just stick around. This is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you in the next video.